How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the Positive Mindset Podcast, where we come together to raise our vibration, lift our perspective, and build that positive mindset. My name is Henry, and I'm so thankful to have each and every one of you here today because in this episode, I'm going to talk about probably the number one thing that leads to success or failure when building your positive mindset. So if you want to know this, tune in because this is going to be a powerful example that you can apply right away. But before we get started, we're going to take a few moments to slow down, zero in. We're going to take some deep, healing, meditative breaths to help us align on the frequency that we want in our lives. So you're going to pick a word. It could be love, joy, happiness, abundance, whatever frequency you want. And we're going to take a deep breath in. And as you're breathing in, you imagine yourself doing something in that frequency. And once you exhale, anything that no longer resonates with you will leave you and you'll be in a more positive state. So let's go ahead and take a deep breath in. And out. We're going to take another deep breath. This one's about alignment, about getting ourselves in receiving mode so that we can receive the message that we need to hear to get us in that positive perspective. So just imagine that you are surrounded by the most healing, uplifting energy that's meant specifically for you. It could have a certain color, a certain taste, a certain smell, however you imagine it. And when you breathe it in, it's going to charge you up. It's going to break down that negativity, the blocks, the weight, everything that's just been holding you back. And once you exhale, anything that no longer resonates with you will leave you and you'll be in a more positive state. So let's go ahead and take another deep breath in. And out. Well, before we get started, I want to say thank you. Thank you so much for everybody that has taken the time to leave a comment on an episode. It's been something that I've been really pushing lately, and I just appreciate it so much because reading those comments not only just inspire me, somebody else might read your comment and it might inspire them to listen to the episode. So if you're on Spotify, you can actually leave a comment and just if something resonates with you and you share it there, it can inspire someone else and also it connects with me. So I appreciate that because my goal is to make this the number one mindset podcast in the world, and doing it together is the best way. So leaving a comment, or if you know someone that might benefit from the information in this episode and you share it with them, it would mean the absolute world to me. So thank you so much for that. But let's dive into today's episode. So I've had a lot going on lately. I have some changes in some of the work I do, school's back, with my kids, and it's been busy. And I knew that this previous week, or the week that I'm recording this anyway, I knew it would be a hard week. I knew with the coaching calls, with the kids going back to school, with all of that at once, I was going to be busy. So I was recording episodes getting ahead because I knew that I just wouldn't be able to record as much as I'd like to. So the previous weeks, I stacked up a bunch of episodes so that I was good to go. I knew I wouldn't have to record for a whole week if I didn't have the time. But in doing so, I realized something. As I go to record this episode, it's the first one I've recorded in probably 4 or 5 days. And I started reflecting. I started thinking, why is it difficult to come up with this episode? Why is it hard for me to think about this? I've been writing over the week. I've been doing my meditations. And it's because of this. Your daily habits create the version of you that you are. Even if you do stuff in advance, it's the daily repetition, the length between times of doing something matter. And so just like this podcast, your positive energy or negative energy can have the same effect. You see, I recorded episodes in advance, so every morning a new episode went out. You heard the new episode, the energy was expended, but I wasn't a part of it. And so there was a little bit of disconnect. But if I were to look at my numbers on the podcast, if I was to look at the comments, it's like, well, the good things are still going. The good energy is still flowing. Day number 2, another episode's come out. I didn't record that day, but you hear the episode, so the energy is still flowing. The energy is still good. Day number 3, same thing. But the longer it goes between me actually speaking these things, the further away I get from the energy. But on the outside, it looks all good. If I'm reflecting, my podcast is growing, people are listening. It's the same thing with your energy. You can build up. You can do all the right things. You can do the week of obsession that I talked about earlier. You can do all these things to charge yourself up, and then you can stop. But the energy can still continue for a little while. And this is what happens. So many times we work so hard. We start a new diet plan. We start a mindset goal. Like we start working all these things and we start feeling good. Things start coming together. And then we realize we took a day off, but nothing changed. It was okay. And then we try to get back into it. Then before we know it, miss 2 days and 3 days. And the positive momentum carries for a little while, but slowly it starts slipping away. And before you know it, you're back into your old patterns. What you do each day matters. It's not about the result. It's about creating a common frequency within you so that the energy resonates at that level. That's what it's about. You don't say the prayer or the meditation for a result. You say it for the frequency that puts you in. You don't say the positive thoughts or think the positive things for the result. You do it for the frequency that you stay in. It's so easy to default to a negative version of that. It's so easy to binge watch TV. It's so easy to eat food that doesn't align with you. It's so easy to have conversation that isn't uplifting, whether it's in your mind or with people. And so we can easily create this negative pattern that goes and goes and goes. So we have to make this shift. This is a low frequency world. You have to be specific. You have to plan. You have to work to be a high frequency being on this earth. I don't necessarily mean physical work, but you have to be purposeful in your thoughts, in your mind, and your energy. So if you're not waking up every single day following a plan, that's your first step. You have to, because you are creating frequency every day. You are creating an environment that your energy operates in every single day. So if you don't feel how you want to feel, if you don't see the world as you want to see it, if you don't receive the world as you see it, then you cannot blame anything but yourself. But when you point the finger at yourself, you give yourself the power, and the first thing you have to analyze is your frequency. What am I doing to up the frequency? Fall in love with the process so that you do it every single day, and you will never want for anything. Your internal peace will be so fulfilled because you'll love the process of uplifting yourself. If you love the process of uplifting yourself, then you will stay in that frequency always. Don't love the result. Don't chase the result. Chase building a frequency. That's how you grow. That's how you expand. I know we're not perfect. We're going to make mistakes. You might miss a day. I miss a day. It happens. As long as we reflect and put ourselves in the observer energy, then we can shift back into the energy we want to be in now. Today, you can go back to your process and never look back. If you started a diet and you were doing really well and then you fell off and you've been looking for a sign for motivation to get back on it, this is it. If you've been doing your meditations, if you've been reflecting, you've been doing all those things, but then you fell off and you were having a hard time to get back on, this is your sign. Get back into it today. There's no better time than now. Don't judge yourself for the missteps. Reflect on it. Become even more powerful because you have the ability to observe and reflect. The mistakes, the setbacks can still be for you if you allow that to happen. Don't chase results. Chase patterns. Chase creating frequency. Become something. Don't achieve something. That's how we create everlasting positive energy. It's not about creating an external environment. It's not about receiving a certain amount of money. Those things are things you can do while you're here. They're not your purpose. Your purpose is to learn to elevate your frequency through meditation, through prayer, through stillness, through gratitude. That's how we do it. That's the path forward for you. So if you've been lost, if you've been looking for something, start there. What does the controllable parts of your day look like? Are they positive? If not, make them positive. Speak positive things. Think positive things. Stay in your positive mindset. Be in that energy always. It can't be perfect, but constantly have perfection in your commitment to being it, and you will become the rising tide that lifts all ships. Well, thank you so much for listening. I hope this episode was impactful. That message, it was really for me. It was a really good learning experience as I grow everything, but I hope it resonated with you. If you want to make sure you don't miss a single episode, make sure you subscribe to my email list. There's a link down below. It will keep you up to date with every single episode. And if you want to follow me on social media, there's my Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook group all down below. So I appreciate all the follows there. And if you're listening to this episode and you want to level up, I actually have 2 spots that recently opened up in my mindset coaching. These will fill up fast. I know a lot of you have reached out on the link below. I will be reaching back out to you all today. I was just full and it was hard for me to catch up, but I have some time now. I can catch up and we can talk about how this program could be right for you. If you want that mind shift, if you want to be that positive minded individual, you can message me via Instagram or the link down below, and I will be following up with everybody by today. With this episode's come out, you've probably heard from me. Well, thank you so much for listening. Have a great day, and I can't wait to talk to you next time.